31st zone slide. Yes, sir. Construction equipment and construction equipment management. In this journal, the selecting and the planning of equipment is essential for utilizing within minimum cost. As usual, ஒரு எக்யூப்மெண்ட்டை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் அதோட காஸ்ட்டை வந்துட்டு பேஸ் பண்ணி ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்ட் வந்துட்டு எப்பவுமே மூவ் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஸோ ஒரு மெயின் ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்டோட மேஜர் ஒரு 10 to 30% வந்துட்டு ஒரு எக்யூப்மெண்ட்டை வந்துட்டு கன்செப்ஷன் நம்ம மினிமைஸா யூஸ் பண்றதுனால சேவ் பண்ண முடியும். அந்த ஒரு பேப்பரை வந்துட்டு டீடைல்டா எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க. அட் த சேம் டைம் இந்த ஃபேக்டர்ஸ் வந்துட்டு சொல்லியிருப்பாங்க. நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்லைட் இதுல வந்துட்டு ஃபேக்டர்ஸ் அஃபெக்டிங் த செலெக்ஷன் ஆஃப் எக்யூப்மெண்ட். எந்தெந்த ஃபேக்டர் பேஸ்ல நம்ம வந்துட்டு எக்யூப்மெண்ட் சூஸ் பண்றாங்க அந்த ஒரு விஷயத்த வந்துட்டு தெளிவாக எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணிருப்பாங்க. சைஸ் ஆஃப் ஜாப், ஆக்டிவிட்டி டைம் கன்ஸ்ட்ரைன், availability of equipment, cost of transport, type of excavation, soil characteristic, geometrical characteristic, weather and temperature. இந்த ஒரு ஃபேக்டர்ஸை வச்சு இந்த பேப்பர்ல எந்தெந்த கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷனுக்கு என்னென்ன மாதிரி இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட் எக்யூப்மெண்ட்டை யூஸ் பண்றாங்கன்றத தெளிவா இதுல இந்த பேப்பர்ல எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க. அண்ட் தென் தேர்ட் டாபிக் நான் சூஸ் பண்ணது என்னன்னா, பிம் யூஸ் பண்ணி கிரீன் பில்டிங்ல என்ன மாதிரி எவல்யூஷன்ஸ் அவங்க கிரியேட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க, என்ன மாதிரி ஒரு எவல்யூஷன்ஸ் யூஸ் பண்றாங்க அப்படின்ற ஒரு இதுவை தான் இந்த ஜேர்னல் நான் சூஸ் பண்ணியிருந்தேன். ஸோ இதுல என்ன பார்த்தா, ஃபோக்கஸ் பெர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் மெட்ரிக் இன் திஸ் ரிசர்ச் இஸ் பில்டிங் என்வலப் தெர்மல் டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர் வேல்யூ ETTV, which is an energy efficiency critical requirement in the both green mark and green rating system. ஒரு பில்டிங்கோட கிரீன் மார்க் அண்ட் RE ரேட்டிங்க வந்து இதுல யூஸ் பண்ணி இதுல வந்துட்டு யூஸ் பண்றாங்க. அட் த சேம் டைம் விம் எந்த அளவுக்கு இதை யூஸ் பண்ணி நம்ம ஒரு கிரீன் பில்டிங்கை கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ட் பண்ண முடியும். டிசைன், பிளானிங், கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் அண்ட் ஆப்ரேஷன், இந்த 4 பேசிக் ஒரு ஃப்ளோவை வந்துட்டு 3D பிம் யூஸ் பண்ணி எந்த அளவுக்கு கிரீன் பில்டிங்கை கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ட் பண்றாங்க அப்படின்ற ஒரு இதுவை தான் இதுல யூஸ் பண்றாங்க. இதுல நார்மலா அவங்க யூஸ் பண்ண சாஃப்ட்வேர் பார்த்தா Revit, Excel அண்ட் Dynamo யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க ஃபார் விஷுவல் ஸ்கிரிப்டிங். இந்த ஒரு விஷயத்துக்காக இது பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க. நெக்ஸ்ட் இதுல ETTV ஃபார் ரெசிடென்ஷியல் பில்டிங், இதுக்காக ஒரு ஸ்பெசிபிக்கான ஒரு ஈக்குவேஷன்ஸ் யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. ETTV is equal to 12 into 1 minus WWR, so into U suffix W plus 3.4 into WWR into UF plus 211 into WWR into CF into SC. இதோட எக்ஸ்பிளனேஷன் கீழே கொடுத்துருப்பாங்க. ஸோ இந்த ஃபார்முலா யூஸ் பண்ணி ஒரு பில்டிங்ல எடுத்தா ஒரு ஈச் காம்பனன்ட்ஸுக்கும் எந்த அளவுக்கு எமிட் பண்ணுது, அந்த பில்டிங்ல எவ்வளவு ஹீட் டெம்பரேச்சர் வந்துட்டு தெர்மல் எஃபெக்ட் எமிட் பண்ணுது, அப்சர்வ் பண்ணுது, எல்லா டீடைல்ஸாவும் இதுல கொடுத்துட்டு இந்த இதுல இருந்து நம்ம அந்த பில்டிங்கோட வேல்யூஸ் எடுத்து போடுறதுக்காக இந்த ஒரு ஜேர்னல்ஸ் வந்து நான் ரெஃபர் பண்ணியிருந்தேன். நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்லைட், இன்டர்கிரேட்டிங் பிம் வித் கிரீன் பில்டிங் certification system, energy analysis and cost estimated tool to conceptual design sustain building. இந்த பேப்பரோட மெயின் இது பார்த்தா, மெயின் கான்செப்ட் அப்படின்னு ஓரியன்டா பார்த்தா, லிங்க் பிம் எனர்ஜி அனாலிசிஸ் காஸ்ட் எஸ்டிமேட்டிங் டூல் வித் கிரீன் பில்டிங் சர்டிபிகேட்டிங் சிஸ்டம். இந்த இதுக்கு இது என்ன மாதிரி மெத்தாலஜி யூஸ் பண்ணாங்க அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்துட்டு அவங்க கலெக்டிங் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் ரிலேட்டட் டு தி கிரீன் மெட்டீரியல்ஸ் and focus on BIM tools. அது ரிக்வயர்மெண்ட்டை அந்த இது பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. தேர்டு வந்துட்டு between BIM tool and energy analysis tool. Fourth, in the design of green building certification, the allocation cost model. இந்த 4 விஷயத்தை அவங்க யூஸ் பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க. இதுக்கான ஒரு ஃப்ளோ சார்ட்டா நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்லைட்ல இருக்கும். நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்லைட்ல அந்த ஃப்ளோ சார்ட்ல வந்துட்டு டீடைல்ஸா பாத்தீங்கன்னா, ஒரு ஃபேஸுக்கும் அவங்க என்னென்ன மாதிரி அவங்க டேட்டாஸை கலெக்ட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க, அதுல இருந்து அவங்க சீக்வன்ஸா என்னென்ன பண்ணியிருக்காங்க அப்படின்ட்டு பார்ப்போம். ஃபேஸ் 1ல வந்துட்டு டெவலப் எக்ஸ்டர்னல் சஸ்டைன் டேட்டா பேஸ், அந்த ஃபேஸ் 2லயும் டேட்டாஸை 3DB மாடல்ஸை கலெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு, 3Dக்குன்னு ஃபேஸ் 3க்குன்னு தனியா டேட்டாஸ் கலெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு 4க்கு சீக்வன்ஸாவே ஃபேஸ் 4க்கு கொண்டு போயிருக்காங்க. ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஃப்ளோ சார்ட்ல அவங்க பிளான் பண்ணி இந்த இது பண்ணிருக்கு, அந்த ஒர்க் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்லைட் டேட்டா ஃப்ளோ அண்ட் ப்ரப்போஸ்டு மெத்தட். இன்புட்னு பார்த்தா இந்த ஒன் சைட்ல பார்த்தா இன்புட்டோட என்டையர் என்னென்ன அவங்க டேட்டாஸ் கலெக்ட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க and then process பண்ண flow and then output என்னென்ன எடுத்திருக்காங்க அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா தெளிவா இருக்கும். இதுல அவுட்புட் பாத்தீங்கன்னா எனர்ஜி அனாலிசிஸ் ரிப்போர்ட், டே லைட் ரிசல்ட், sustainability strategic related to the each activity, and green building system, green building rating system analysis. ஸோ இவ்வளவு ரிப்போர்ட்ஸை வந்து அவங்க ஒரு பில்டிங்ல இருந்து ஒரு பில்டிங்காக இவ்வளவு எடுத்திருக்காங்க. இதுல ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒன் எனர்ஜி அனாலிசிஸ், டே லைட் வந்துட்டு டே லைட், சஸ்டைனபிலிட்டி. இது மூணுமே என்னன்னா நம்மளுக்கு நார்மலா கிடைக்கிற ரிசோர்ஸை வந்துட்டு அவங்க எந்த அளவுக்கு அந்த பில்டிங்ல யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க அந்த ரிப்போர்ட் அந்த மூணுத்தையும் எடுத்துக்கிட்டு இது நாலாவதா கிரீன் பில்டிங் ரேட்டிங் அனாலிசிஸ். இது மூணு எந்த அளவுக்கு எஃபிஷியன்ஸா நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கோம் அப்படின்றது தான் நாலாவது கிரீன் பில்டிங் ரேட்டிங்ல வந்துட்டு அவங்க மென்ஷன் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. ஸோ இந்த பேப்பர் வந்துட்டு இதுக்கான ஒரு பில்டிங்குடைய எந்த அளவுக்கு கிரீன் பில்டிங்ல எந்த அளவுக்கு நம்ம ரிசோர்ஸஸ் மெயின்டைன் பண்ண முடியும், யூஸ் பண்ண முடியும்ன்றது இந்த பேப்பர்ல டீடைல்டா நம்மளால இது பண்ண முடியும். ஓகே, தேங்க்யூ. நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்லைட் வேணும். தேங்க்யூ சார்.
அடுத்து யாரு?
சார் மோனிகா நான் சார். A very good day, everyone. So for the zeroth review, I have few topics and ideas which I got some key points from the following journals. So these are the journals which I have collected. This is the first is about the improvisation of Chennai Metro with 60. Regarding this topic, I have selected some of the topics. And next is about the check dam construction and management with 5D BIM. And the third is about the augmented reality in construction. And finally, about the stress management. And yes, this journal is about the BIM approach for modeling airports terminal expansion. New developments in computer hardware as well as new application of software are changing the face of infrastructure sectors. More generally, we can say it has a great efficiency, increasing productivity, and greatly simplifying the construction process. So in this article, the architectural structural model in a BIM environment of the elevated walkway, that is the walkway connects the gate with the runway of the airport. So the project name is Ivy Bridge, which is under the construction and for the expansion of departure area of the Naples International Airport. Here in this project, they used Revit, RSA, Navisworks 5D to reduce the construction time and cost. So this project was commissioned for about 1 million euros. So they carried out the traditional CAD method for the project drawings. Then after that, they needed manual intervention in each drawing separately. So this needs the time of documentation, and there is a waste of paper. So what they did is they used BIM electronic modeling methods. The process of methodology starts with the project documentation. That is the first step. Project documentation with the traditional CAD method. Then they digitalized the Autodesk softwares using the Revit for architectural structural model. That is the architectural structural model for Revit. And then robotic structural analysis, RSA, for the structural model. And finally, clash detection with the use of Navisworks. So going into the architectural model, there was a 4 steps. First is the modeling foundation. So considering the sandy nature of the soil, they chose the deep foundation. Then going to the modeling elevation structure. Elevation in structure is nothing but just the beam and slabs they are modeling. And then third to the reticular structure. Reticular structure is the what type of reticular structure they use here is a double longitudinal HEB 400 material. HEB 400 is nothing but it is an European standard. How we use FE 400 like that. Then finally the model finishing. Model finishing is nothing but finishing with windows, panelings, and doors. So coming to the next step. Next step is nothing but the structural model. So it is the representation of physical structural model of the project, which is made of elements. That is, this software has a characterization of the structure with its geometry, material properties, and loads. And each of the material and its properties has a code in this software. And finally is the clash detection. So Navi's work software was used for the cost and time analysis. So if there is any clash in between the process or the structures, this Navi's work, they use this Navi's work to detect that. So coming to the conclusion, they have finally achieved cost and time saving, teamwork, collaboration, BIM a golden thread. BIM a golden thread is nothing but which involves all the people in the project, each and everyone. So this case study has the potential benefits from using a single integrated model of various professional disciplines, and it has the ease of updating the project tables in real time according to the changes made. If any made changes, even a small changes has made in the process, the it is automatically updated in the software. It is an ongoing process, which is now it is in a construction process, and it is estimated to be finished in the year 2023. And they also concluded that they have a plan of using even 60 and 70 B models for optimal management. Then finally the key point. So the key point is that what I got from this particular paper is that, what if we use, because our metro rails is just using the 4D BIM currently. So what if we use 5D BIM, how so that we can save so much of time, cost. And even if we use a 6D BIM, we can use about we can save about so much of budget. For example, Nagpur metro, they have used the 5D BIM and they have saved about 2000 crores just from the Nagpur metro station. And then going into the next journal. Next journal is about the BIM for dams. So this study was conducted to determine the scientific development of BIM for dam management. So mainly this paper is about this. So this discovers several studies conducted in relation to this topic in order to determine the scientific developments in the field and also to classify further research. So going into the methodology, what actually this paper in a single line we can say it is about whether we can use BIM for a dam construction or not. So in this paper was conducted by analyzing the use of BIM in infrastructure, including the dam projects through journals, books, conferences, etc. Then the papers and articles used were classified on their use of keywords like BIM, dam, use of BIM, dam, like that. Then coming to the qualitative analysis and synthesis of literature. Qualitative analysis was used to identify the interaction of papers from different backgrounds. So finally, they made a list of uses from the findings. So BIM has a benefit, and its applications like visualization, survey, cost estimation, site logistics, scheduling, everything can be used for the purpose of dam construction. So, concluding this paper, from review of several parts of literature, it is possible to apply BIM in dam projects in Indonesia. So, this research was actually conducted in Indonesia and out of Indonesia. So, starting from the planning stage, bidding process, construction phase, up to the operation and even the maintenance. Then the point, the idea that I got is, what if we merge the ancient construction techniques like the construction technique and management of dams like Kallanai with using 6 dBm. What if we use and merge them? So this is the key point I got from this journal. And the third is about the augmented reality. So this paper is a brief discussion on augmented reality and virtual reality in construction industry. So we all know what is virtual reality. Virtual reality is we have to create a space and also the situation. But for the augmented reality, there is no need of creating a space. For example, I can say that if you keep a 2D plan of a floor plan, and you can just take your mobile phones or tablets and just scan that, so that you can you'll get the output of the construction just using the phones and the 2D plan. So, going into this journal, this study outlines a number of potential applications of augmented reality and virtual reality to a variety of construction problems. So, here they used tools like Revit, Unit 3D, Vuforia, Entity, Creator, Naviswork, etc. So, augmented reality is used. Sorry. Augmented reality is used in scheduling, progress matching, worker training, safety, time management, construction management, quality, and even in defect management. So the study starts with a literature review. They referred so many journals, papers, articles, books, blogs, etc. So going into this flow diagram, so it starts with with a 3D parametric model is built with Revit. Then the Revit file is converted to IFSC format. Then there is a two applications, that is the VR and the AR application, that is being generated by the generating tools. So finally we'll get the entity creator and the Unity 3D. Hello, hello.
Yes.
Hello. Sir, sorry, sir. For no, sir, Nadula connection problems. So for entity creator is nothing but it is a cloud program. So Unity 3D, we all know that there'll come a Unity 3D symbol when we start to play a game, okay, video games. So it is a software application. Then the entity viewer is used for the construction field, and Vuforia is used for the application of Unity 3D. So then after processing these tools, you can import the details in the smartphones using your Android 7.1 version, and then you'll get the result. So first, the augmented reality will show the scheduling aspect of construction projects, like as planned and versus as built form. Here the white color in this picture, you can see the white color is the completed part, and green is the not completed part. So green portion actually represents the delay of the project. It is also able to finish that it is possible to look and estimate the work performed on site in accordance with the proposed schedule. Then the quality and defect management, so it is one of the most important part of the construction management. This shows the process of uh, marker based augmented reality technology for defects and quality. So there is a two ways. So first, the defect information database. From the defect information database, it goes to the site defect management manager, then to the shape information, and it goes to the marker decision. So from the marker decision, if there is any wrong with the trade workers work, it can be again scanned with the software, and we can find what wrong he has done, and then we can correct it, and the work is being executed. Then going to the communication and data acquisition. The communication and data acquisition, coming to the communication and data acquisition, the augmented reality system allows fast and easy access to information, helps the project managers to decide how to minimize the cost and delays. So these are the information they gather. That is the facility, 3D point cloud, CAD, the drawings, scheduling, resource allocation, outdoor environment, indoor, WBS, OBS. These all the informations are gathered. They are imported to the software. That is the 3D augmented environment, and after that. It has been exported. So for virtual reality, we can use only the smart glasses or the helmets. But in augmented reality, we can even use our mobile phones, tablets, etc. So then the time and cost management. It is undoubtedly the major issue here. So we can select even the modes like architectural mode, then uh, then the timeline, structural work. We can select the modes and we can process it. Then coming to the safety management, the AI technologies could be effectively used for the training of operators for operating the heavy equipment in the construction process, and it also develops a conceptual framework for BIM mode with augmented reality for safety. For example, there was a L&T case study. They used a virtual reality for the purpose of their workers in for the safety management, and they have accessed 20% of uh, has increased the production of their work. And concluding this paper, so from this paper, I just got an idea. What if we facsimile or simulate the augmented reality in construction safety? For example, there was a recent crane accident. So if an augmented reality system was there, what would have happened? So this was the key point I got from this paper. And finally, coming to the stress management. So this paper is a review on stress among the site engineers in construction industry. So in construction industries, approximately about 80% of stress arises during the planning, scheduling, execution of work among the site engineers. So the main objective of this study is to examine the factors influencing stress on the middle level managers. So the data was collected from about 3 levels of constructions like supervision, then the room for innovation, and poor work groups. So the data was collected from these 3 levels. So what is the objectives is they have given is the what kind of problems site engineers are faced, then to analyze the source of stress, then to implement some stress management techniques. So going into the scope, they have stated that to how to improve the efficiency of the project by reducing the stress, and to maintain the main point is that to bring out their personal characteristics of the site engineers. So finally, the methodology what they followed is they received reviewed what are the reasons of the stress among the site engineer due to work overload, inadequate room, physical hazards, more of paperwork, then fragmentation of work, violence, etc. So these are the reasons of stress among the site engineers. Then what they did is we saw the objectives. Then the data was collected from 3 levels. Coming to the fourth level is the factors identification. Then they prepared a questionnaire based on the factors they data collected. Finally, they analyzed these questions using the SPSS method. SPSS method is nothing but it is a kind of statistical method. Using a variables we can analyze it. Then they have implemented some techniques among the site engineers. So like the techniques like so that the site engineer should spotlight on the factors to recover the skills, and so that the project productivity will considerably develop. So from this what I got is normally even this paper was conducted between among the normal residential like small budgeted projects. So what I got is for even a small budgeted project, they have so much of stress. What happens to the workers, the site engineers, and to the laborers who are working on a massive budgeted project, for so many years, like the dam construction. You can take them, for example, the live example is the metro rail. So what happens to them? So this was the idea I got from this. Thank you. Sir.
Yes, anyone questions கேட்கறத கேட்கலாம். மீன் டைம் நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டூடெண்ட் வந்து ஸ்க்ரீன் ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க.
நிரஞ்சனா நீங்க பண்ணுங்க, நான் நெக்ஸ்ட் உங்களுக்கு அடுத்தது பண்ணிடுறேன்.
நான் பண்ணணுமா?
சார் ஃபீட்பேக் கொடுத்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் கண்டினியூ பண்ணுங்க.
ஓகே சார்.
மீன் டைம் கேன் இன்டராக்ட் ரிகார்டிங் த ஜர்னல்ஸ்.
The paper as a BIM application, that is 7-dimensional automation means 7 dimensions but facility provision from initial 3D to 7D, how the BIM has been used in specifically creating waste management strategies alone. And next tool I like to share is reverse logistic techniques, 16th journal, which deals with the entire cycle of operation in waste minimization. And sixth tool like to share is gene expression programming, 19th journal. And this also this it is also a tool which involves a time parameter in analyzing. Specifically, it also includes a time factor in analyzing it. And seventh tool I like to share is the multi-attribute decision making. This gives journal number 21. It gives on how different attitudes can be clubbed together in order to have an effective waste management strategy. And eighth and last most utilized one model is the dynamic model. And this model has been utilized in more than 3 or 4 journals. And it is as per my conclusion, it was one of the most successful model. And ninth model, which we'll see in a journal, last journal in Indian scenario, is that statistical approach. Purely what we studied in statistic mathematics, it will be purely based on that. We create one hypothesis and we'll check for it. And next literature from 23 to 31 will be based on the BIM application towards construction waste management. These all journals takes the different aspects such as various parameters including stakeholders behavior, opportunities of BIM. So it explores various factors and in BIM towards construction waste management. And going on to the journal number 32, which 32 to 37 says about Indian scenarios. So particularly one of this 32 journal number 32 only gives a statistical approach, and rest of the journals gives various present situation, current situation of India towards waste management, and other some basic approach, not than the second journal. No unique tool has been utilized in the Indian scenario so far. So from these 37 journals, I selected 3 journals for a complete explanation in each category. first category I like to choose is about from policy. How we can manage the waste. So first and successful model was the Spanish model. So in this model, what is the basic principle is that who produces the waste should be responsible in disposing it. So if you are saying by you are responsible, you have to dispose it, means it will not be in too much effective. In order to bring an effective manner, they introduce an monetary deposit, compulsory monetary deposit scheme. This initially you have to deposit before taking into any project for initial any construction project or any particular, if you going to demolish a particular part or entire project, you have to go for monetary deposit. Once you successfully manage and mitigate your construction waste, the monetary deposit you give would be refunded. So this plan was made compulsory by Spanish government in order to minimize the illegal waste dumping, which was a major problem and troubleshoot for Spanish government in case of construction industry. So this model, as you see in diagram, you can see that the town hall is nothing but an authority who will issue a return of your monetary deposit and who will collect your monetary deposit. Once a developer is nothing but ourselves or any project manager or any company who is going to demolish a part or to demolish an entire part or going to go to any construction activity. Before starting at any activity, they have to go to a town hall and they have to give a entire documentation. Based on the documentation, they will evaluate the one report how much construction waste would be generated. Based on that, you have to deposit a money. Then only you will have a building permit for further construction. Then you have to contact the contractor and go for your construction or demolition process. Once everything is gets over, CD waste evaluation evaluator will access all your process from deconstruction to transportation and how you carefully mitigate it. Based on that, they will issue a certificate. With the certificate, you can go back to the town hall and you can claim for your return of the deposit. So by this, many of the illegal dumping was prevented in the span, and it is considered one of the best implemented policy related waste management project. And next thing is based on the tool, how we are going to manage it. So first, before coming to a topic or reverse logistic network, first we'll discuss about two terms. That is what is meant by forward logistic and reverse logistic. If you understand what is a forward logistic, reverse logistic is a vice versa and easy to understand. So for any construction site, for material to be coming onto the site will come as a start origin from material manufacture. So from this so forward logistics starts with the material manufacture. From material manufacture, it comes to a product supplier, then to product warehouse, then to construction site where we work on. So from this construction, this is nothing but our forward logistics. Now, in order to have a waste minimization effect, we are just adopting a reverse logistic. That is, in coming to the bottom, you will see that construction starts from a construction site. During construction activities, there will be a various form of waste. This waste has been collected and classified in the collection center. Once the classification has been done, it is grouped into two categories. One is nothing but unrecoverable, which is example like heavy metal, scrap, plastic, etc., and which is recoverable. Once it is becoming an unrecoverable, it has to be gone to a disposal site. And once it is recoverable, it goes to the dismantling centers from where it is go for remanufacturing companies. So thereby, a consider amount of disposal into sites has been minimized. So this model, this reverse application is called reverse logistic network, and this reverse logistic network is not only economically friendly but also economically friendly because most to a part of the waste has been utilized effectively. Next, and hence it is also considered as one of the successful model in implementing. And this journal also gives and further uh, uh, guidelines about how government green tax analysis, that is how for disposal of for disposing into this disposal site, for particular amount of waste we have to pay the tax. So how much concession we can give, how much remuneration we can give, so that they will engage themselves in recycling than merely disposing onto these sites. And say a third journal in this topic is about in the Indian scenario. In Indian scenario, what one of the tool applied is a statistical approach. Statistical approach is nothing but we already know that we have to create some hypothesis. Or we have with for our analysis parameter, we have to create a hypothesis and test whether it is correct or not. Similar, this is only an basic and key idea in this. And research process this diagram shows the what is a research process, and it's that is methodology adopted. That is first the research process on each parameter, such as how much waste it is, what is the quality of the sample and everything, and outcomes from this was recorded. From these outcomes, what they are doing is they are getting 27 variables, which is nothing but this 27 variables may be of this 27 variables they are highlighting which are the major contributors. So the analysis was based on the how the degree of agreement between the three domains, major domains of the construction industry, which are nothing but contractors and academicians and engineers, how the three perspective in this vary or not, or they are similar in their ideology, was the main key analysis point. So in this they created, as we said, they created an hypothesis, null hypothesis, that there is an insignificant degree of agreement, which is nothing but our null hypothesis. An alternative hypothesis are significant. And they used so first analyzing the 24 variables as individual, it would be more complex. So in order to group them into some certain categories, they used exploratory factor analysis as a tool, and they clubbed all the factors into 5 categories, and then they researched on these 5 categories. So these 5 categories were nothing but construction methods, documents, and construction equipments and materials, and worker intention. And then the final analysis was done, and the result of the final last was the below is nothing but in the construction method there was a moderate agreement, and the construction equipment there was a strong agreement, and the construction materials and my work intention there was very strong agreement. This paper was based upon 3 to 4 year studies on various parts of the Indian scenarios, like Chennai, they had on site, and for Hyderabad they had on site, and North, I think so, Mumbai also they had on site. So they had 4 different sites, and they studied a different scenario. Not only in one space they were confined, they confined to various spaces of Indian subcontinent, and analyze how they is there same significant agreement, and how they differ. So it was on one part, is agreement is there or not. The second part of the study was purely main on how much waste they are generating. So out of all the analysis they done, they found that two were the main factors of construction waste they generated. One was steam and one was concrete. So this diagram of above diagram shows that only the concrete wastivity on site 1. I just showed one example to depict it. So like that, for similarly for this site, what is steel wastivity, and various sites what on all the graph has been put forth to say to convey how much the wastivity has been produced. So from this result, they conclude that there is a significant amount of waste from the concrete and steel, which were about for 4.4 percentage, which were about 5 percentage, and also there was some good agreement between the various sectors of construction field. And with this construction waste management topic, I'm getting it over, and let's going to the next topic is based on the productive analysis. And productive analysis in the construction sector is also one of the main and important parameter. And it is then so in this literature I collected were based on the approach, what is the need, what is the need for productivity, and what is the factor analysis factors that influence productivity, and what are the productive models. From the in this topic I have got 10 journals, in among which few journals just deals with the general categories, and some gives the models, like as said before. Some few models is nothing but structural equation modeling and bibliometric analysis and pestle and loosely coupled model. So we'll see mainly of three models for this productive analysis topic. The idea of three models in this topic. First topic I taken is that the bibliometric analysis on status quo of robotics in construction. In this part as a two part. One is the bibliometric analysis and the recommendation of robotics in construction. So we see this first part, what is the application of robotics in construction. This paper suggests, this author suggests that robotics can be used, implemented in two parts sector. That is nothing but how we can use in software field, how we can use in hardware field. And we are, it's as simple as that. So we are going to bibliometric. So it is a very new term. It's nothing. Bibliometric analysis is nothing but journal analysis. It is also statistical tool which analyzes the journals, articles which are published, and based on that, they create one what is the need and thing. So this bibliometric analysis was done to test whether how our construction industry is related to the area of IT and computer science and robotics. So for this study, they taken initially they took from 2000 to 2019 for journal that is the source collection, but due to vast structure vast number of journals, they scrutinized to the year of 2009 to 2019, and 2009 to 2019. So some of the example is that all the literature relating to cement and concrete research was given as one collective group, and construction building material was given as a second collective group. Likewise, they given as each collective group, and total of 24,000 journal was analyzed. So what they made is a two model. It is this two graph is the final result. Before that, I like to say what is the first model and second model. First model is nothing but so simple as that the word which occurred more than 200 times was taken. No, not just like that. More than 200 times, they were nearly about 28K terms. In that, they took 513 important terms for threshold terms. In that, they took 250 terms which are essential and vital. In that, how much term in that top 250 terms, how much terms it occur more than 200 times, they taken as first model and represented in graphical form. And second model is similar that, but when the limit is different, the limit they took even more less, which exceeding 100 terms, and they exposed them into an as a chart. So what is the result they concluded is that there is very less relevance in IT and the construction IT and construction sector and robotics. So thus it indicates there is a huge gap between the construction industry and information technology and robotics industry. So and also suggests there is a huge possibility of implementing robotics in construction in order to have better productivity. and also gives an idea that construction economy can be broadly classified into two sectors, that is education sector and industrial sector. Although education sector is an urgency, that is we are all studying about all implementation of IT and robotics in the part and parcel of syllabus, but field application in the field application, that is in the industry, that is too much low. So there must be more and also gives a suggestion that there must be more emphasis on employing computer programmers and robotics in the construction. And this paper also suggests some of the robotic techniques or robotic materials which can be used in order to increase the productivity. And second journal of in productive analysis is pestle analysis. Pestle analysis is nothing but simple as they took 6 important factors which definitely would affect the productivity. The 6 factors is nothing but political, economical, social, technological, legal, and environmental factors. These were based on these factors, they started analyzing how the productivity would affect in terms of both conditions, not only the spatial but also temporal. Spatial variation means region variation, temporal variation, time. With time scope, how much there has been a huge variation. So three spatial difference, they consider three major economies. One of the three economies was Singapore, Hong Kong, and United Kingdom. How this productivity are influenced by these 6 factors has been clearly analyzed. So on analyzing, they came to two major evolution technique. That is, one is nothing by strategic evolution and industry. Strategic evolution is nothing but what are all the constant or there in decline in productivity. They have been analyzed, and how could these factors can be enhanced to increase productivity. So based on this strategies, they came forward with a strategy called construction productive enhancement strategy. So this strategy mainly involves 5 subcategories, which under these 5 categories, almost all the factors are considered as inclusive. For that 5 categories are nothing but constructability and prefabrication. Others, influence of prefabrication in the construction industry, how the productivity would increase. Similar that sustainable construction workforce, how its influence would affect the productivity, and productivity measure and evaluation, collaborative procurement, and BIM application. This diagram is just looks a bit complicated, but it's literally a simple one. It just depicts all the factors and also limits a timeline, and just gives important factors which were implemented in their in that particular application, so that the productivity has been increased. That is, for example, in constructability and prefabrication, zero energy building was introduced in 2010. Thereby, the productivity has been increased. So, it is one of the historical form of representation of huge number of data in a proper organized way to give more and more information. It is CPE implementation timeline for Singapore. Similarly, for Hong Kong and UK was also given as a depicting results. And for further reference, one I will share it later. And for last topic or last concept for in production is loosely coupled project model. Loosely coupled project model is nothing but grouping of variables. How to group is plays a major role. In this, there is a two type of coupling agent. One is tightly coupling and loosely coupling. Tightly coupling in this, all the variables you are selecting will be interconnected. But loosely coupling, one and all the variables will not be interconnected. So there will be some certain degree of freedom. So you can implement in you can further can implement that variable, or further due course you can alter that variable. So they particularly choose loosely coupled. So in order to emphasize the dynamic nature of the our industry. And coming to why this first picture is nothing but it gives an view of multi-layer structured extension production integration. It's simple as that. They are finding they are saying that collaborative mechanism should be formed so that everyone will get the information access without any hindrance. So this diagram, this mechanism, this is the mechanism they are intended to create, so that they can be accessed from the all the users and agents and decision makers. Here, in this paper, the agents they mean is the contractors. So next topic with this idea, they created two prototypes. That is one procedure A and procedure 2, and they simulated this model, and they try to analyze, validate their formed model. Only a key difference between two models is that if you cleanly watch, there is only difference. What is that? The contractor supplier opinion has been asked in before engineering design phase itself in procedure B, but only after engineering design phase only they are just going for contractor and suppliers view. So there will be a huge lag in productivity. Which these two models, they had created a simulation program and they depicted images. So it is a time event. So second red one gives B, green gives A. That is B means first we are consulting material supplier and contractor. So that is a relatively less time gap. These were some of the important tools I came across in analyzing this productivity and also for waste management. Thank you. Any questions, sir?
என்ன பண்றாங்க பசங்க ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் தான் கேள்வி கேட்கணும், ஒருத்தரும் கேள்வி கேட்க மாட்டேங்கிறீங்க. சொல்லுங்க. Students should ask question. யார் அடுத்து யாருக்கு மணி என்னப்பா 4 ஆச்சா? ஓகே. ஸோ நெக்ஸ்ட் பிரசன்டேஷன் அன்னைக்கு இன்னும் எத்தனை பேர் இருக்கீங்க? 6 பேரா பண்ணிருக்கீங்க சரவணன்?
சார் இன்னைக்கு வந்து ரோல் நம்பர் 1, 2, 5, 6 அண்ட் 8 5 பேர் பண்ணிருக்காங்க சார்.
மொத்தம் சேர்த்து எத்தனை பேர் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க?
5 பேர் சார், மார்னிங் அண்ட் ஆஃப்டர்நூன் சார்.
நேத்து
சார் சேர்த்து 5.
இன்னைக்கு தான் சார் ஆரம்பிச்சோம், நேத்து இல்ல சார்.
நேத்து ஆஃப்டர்நூன் ஆரம்பிக்கல. சார் டீச்சர் சரி சரி 5 பேர் பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா? நாளைக்கு வெனஸ்டே அன்னைக்கு நாளைக்கு வந்து யூஜிக்கு ஃபுல்லா இருக்கு காலையில் 11 o'clock இருக்கு. ஓகே. தேர்ஸ்டே என்ன கிளாஸ்? 11 to 12 எனக்கு. அதுக்கப்புறம் என்ன கிளாஸ்? 1:45 என்ன கிளாஸ்?
சார் தேர்ஸ்டே வந்து ஆஃப்டர்நூன் ஒரு கிளாஸ் இருக்கும் சார். மண்ணுக்கு 1 o'clock மேல இல்ல சார்.
இல்லப்பா 11 to 12 என்னுடைய கிளாஸ்.
ஆமா சார். 12 to 1 என் கிளாஸ் இருக்கும் சார்.
12 to 1
அதுக்கப்புறம் ப்ராஜெக்ட் வர்க் சார். 12 to 1 என்னோட கிளாஸ் இருக்கும் சார். தென் லஞ்சுக்கு அப்புறமா கிளாஸ் ப்ராஜெக்ட் வர்க் தான் சார்.
இதுல 8 பேர் பாருமா. ஓகே. அப்ப தேர்ஸ்டே வந்து 11 to 1 வச்சுக்கலாம்.
ஓகே சார்.
நீ எத்தனை யூனிட் முடிச்சிருக்கீங்க உங்களது?
சார் 3rd யூனிட் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க.
3rd யூனிட் பாயிண்ட். சரி. அப்ப அது மாதிரி பண்ணுங்க. தேர்ஸ்டே வந்து 11 o'clock 11 to 1.
ஓகே சார்.
ஓகே சார்.
ஓகே சார்.
ஓகே சரி. இந்த क्वेश्चंस எல்லாம் கேளுங்க. அதுக்கும் மார்க் உண்டு. மார்க்ஸ் ஈவன் ஃபார்
சார். அது நெக்ஸ்ட் டைம் வந்து ஸ்ப்ளிட் அப் லைவா போட்டு வச்சுக்கலாம் சார்.
போட்டு
அவங்க கேக்க லைவா அவங்க முன்னாடியே மார்க்
क्वेश्चंस கேட்கறதுக்கு மார்க் கிடைக்காது. The interaction is very important. That only whether you are observing or not தெரியும். அதே மாதிரி அவங்க பிரசன்ட் பண்றவங்களுக்கும் போர் அடிக்கும். என்ன இருக்கு சொல்லுங்க. இது என்ன ஒவ்வொருத்தரும் இந்த இன்டர்சேஞ்ச் தானே. ஓகே பாய்.